RKA Tech Talk, a training series where we walk through tips and tricks for servicing and maintaining your analytical and instrumentation equipment. These videos are not designed to replace the manufacturer manuals or procedures. They are to help support technicians and operators in the field by providing clear, step-by-step guidance for common maintenance and replacement procedures. Before performing any service work, always make sure all safety procedures required by your facility are followed. In this video, we will be walking through the process of replacing a GC module in an ABB natural gas chromatograph, or NGC. Before beginning the procedure, gather the tools needed for the replacement. You will need some sort of 5/16 Allen. It needs to be a long Allen as it needs to get into the back of the NGC to reach a bolt. You can use a screwdriver type Allen or even with a socket attachment. You also need a 5/16 nut driver or a flathead screwdriver, a ribbon cable puller, or a small screwdriver. Before we begin removing the module, first step is we need to remove power from the gas chromatograph. Once the unit is powered down, you will also need to shut off all gas supplies connected to the system. This includes any sample gas, calibration gas, or carrier gas. Once the power is removed and the gas supplies are shut down, the system is ready for the module replacement procedure, which I will be coming around to the front of the table to show you how to do that. Now that we have removed power and shut off the gases going to the GC, we can go ahead and remove the cover. When removing the cover, you want to make sure to remove it straight back as not to damage any of the parts inside. Okay, now that we have the cover off, this is our display. It's being held on by a hose clamp onto the module. A couple things before we start this. We want to make sure throughout this entire process that this battery does not become disconnected from the side of the display. If it does, you will most likely lose your programming and you will end up having to reprogram your GC. So we want to make sure that this stays connected the entire time. The other thing we want to make sure of is the ribbon cable down below. We want to make sure to keep this from getting damaged. It is very delicate. Pulling on it, pinching it, anything like that can damage it. You'll have to replace it, which is not a fun thing to have to do. So we want to be very aware of our ribbon cable and careful with our ribbon cable. Also on the other side of the display, you have a grounding cable connected to it. First, we can remove our grounding cable. Next, we're going to remove our ribbon cable. This is where you'll use a ribbon cable puller or a small screwdriver. If you're using a small screwdriver, you just want to go to either side of the ribbon cable connector and slowly loosen it on either side. I prefer the ribbon cable puller as it is easier and a better option for you. Make sure to pull straight down on the ribbon cable. And now that we have both cables disconnected, we can remove the display from the module by loosening the hose clamp. Now that we have our cables disconnected, we can remove the display from the module by sliding it off and keeping in mind that we need to keep our backup battery connected to the display. Now that the display is removed, you will find insulation surrounding the module. We can go ahead and pull that straight out, being aware of our ribbon cable. And now your GC module is exposed. To remove the GC module, you will remove the hex bolt in the back of the module. You can loosen the hex bolt and remove it. Now that the GC module can be removed, we can go ahead and remove it from the housing, but we do have to remove two cables from the back of it first, so you do not want to pull it all the way out or yank out the module. So now, keeping in mind, again, the ribbon cable, not pulling on it too hard and not pinching it or crimping it, we can expose the back of the module. You will see the two cables plugged in. You have your rear term board cable and you have a heated feed-through cable. We will go ahead and disconnect these. This one has a clip on it. And now your module is free. A couple things before we put in the new module. You'll want to verify that your ribbon cable and that your rear term cable are still in their connectors on the rear termination board. You'll also see there's a gasket here on the feed-through. Sometimes this stays on, sometimes it comes off when you remove your module. You want to make sure that this stays on or you replace it with the new one in the box that comes with the module. And when you replace it, you want to make sure that these holes here are specifically lined up to match holes behind on the feed-through. If it is upside down or put in the wrong way, you will not be able to get any gas into the module. So just verify that your holes line up before you go ahead and put your module in. Next, we want to make sure if our dip switch is in the right spot. If you have a GC with a heated feed through, you are going to have a cable. This one is red. In the newer GCs, it is black. If it has that, that means you have a heated feed through. If you don't have it, it means you don't have a heated feed through. The dip switch has two settings on it, normal and override. If you have a feed through heater, your dip switch should be set to normal. If you don't have a feed through heater, your dip switch should be set to override. Now that we have our dip switch set, we have our cables in place, we have our gasket in place, we can install your new module. Now we can reattach our cables to the back of the new module using the feed through cable and the rear term board cable. Now we can install the GC module onto the feed through. Be aware when putting this in, you don't want to pinch your cables into the feed through. You also don't want to damage the ribbon cable. Now that the module is in place, we will put on our hex bolt. Snug, not over tightened. Now we can install our insulation. Again, being aware, not pulling too hard on the ribbon cable. Now we can install our display. Again, being very careful to keep our battery connected. First, you can install your ribbon cable. It's much easier to connect this way than when it's on the module. Then we can slide the display over the module and reconnect our ground cable. Now that all of our cables are installed, we can go ahead and put on our cover, being careful of the ribbon cable as not to pinch it. Now that all the components have been put back into the GC, your cover is back on, you can reestablish the gases moving to the unit, your sample gas, your cal gas, and your carrier gas, and you can resupply power to your GC, and your module replacement has been done. Thank you for watching this episode of RKA Tech Talk. For additional support, troubleshooting resources, or other system training videos, please refer to the RKA training library at rkanet.com.